Today, our speaker will bring us a timely message regarding the social impact of COVID-19. He'll be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes with the goal to inspire us during this new normal. Please help me welcome Tom Prichard with his speech titled, Keep the Fires Burning. Keep the fires burning, Tom Prichard.
21 weeks, 108 work days, over nearly 1,000 hours I have been stuck in this office in my home. I haven't been stagnant. Back in March, I installed air conditioning in my office because I knew that the summer months were going to get blistering hot and my office gets abnormally warm anyway because of all the electronics. Then I bought an ergonomic chair because I didn't want to throw my back out. Recently, I bought a stand-up desk because my ergonomic chair had become a real pain in the, but that's a whole different story. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, how are you dealing with this pandemic? I used to go out to lunch with my coworkers a couple times a week. I'd often roll my chair back and turn to my coworkers and ask how they were doing. On the way to the popcorn machine, which is in our bistro, which I miss greatly, I would bump into people that I wouldn't see very often. I would say, how are you working on this project? Or catch up on the latest tidbit of company gossip. But not today. Today, I have to look forward to 30-minute meetings between now and the end of the day. I spend on the average of 8 to 10 meetings a day. At the end of the day, I'm tired and I haven't had a chance to get caught up on the do list that I had when I started the morning, nor the new tasks I got as I went through the day. So how are you doing in this pandemic? I'm obviously not doing that great. I am not enjoying stuck at home in this work at home environment. Gone are the informal hallway chats, the drop in from a coworker to say, how's it doing? The casual conversations, the subliminal communication layer that sits in our company that allows us to stay connected with one another. We've become a workplace of isolated social creatures denied the one thing we need most, casual human interaction. And I stress casual. I'm on the phone all day long or on Zoom, but that's not casual. It's all business. I don't have the casual conversations anymore. They have to be scheduled. On the average, I spend 9 to 10 hours a day in my job. At home, I get another 4 or 5 hours, and the weekends. Half my life is working with my coworkers in those relationships. So why shouldn't I feel loss? Why shouldn't I feel like half my life is missing? Why shouldn't I be angry? Well, the bad news is I am. I read an article last year about disruption in the workplace. It said that when there is a major change in a workplace, it's an opportune time for people to leave. People depart. Good people depart. We are in a major disruption right now. The way we work has been thrown upside down. Our company is going through some downsizings, like many of them are because of the economic downturns. Good people, folks that I've been working with for almost 20 years, are gone. We've got disruption. If it wasn't for the economic tightening in the economy in America right now, they'd be leaving and finding other jobs. But as soon as things turn up, I guarantee you we're going to see an increase in departures. The article went on to talk about what makes people stick. Relationships. It's the relationships between coworkers that actually keeps people in their workplace. It's not because they have a cool job. It's not because it pays lots of money. It's those relationships they have with their coworkers that make them want to stay. There's been times that I've thought about leaving, but I couldn't imagine leaving my coworkers with all the work that I had to get done. It's those relationships that are critical. But now we are forced into this virtual remote working lifestyle, and it's not helping us in our relationships. This problem is even worse with new hires. In October, I'm bringing on 4 new college hires. We're going to have to work virtually. The opportunity to bring them into our corporate culture and help them understand how we work as a team is going to be completely different. I want them to learn what Deloitte is all about. I want them to feel the fellowship and the camaraderie that we normally have, but we don't have right now. Today, everyone's focusing on the medical and economic aspects of this pandemic. But I submit to you that the social impact will have longer lasting implications. Yes, Zoom chat is fine. It's like AT&T, it's the next best thing to being there. But I'm not going to settle for next best. Next best is not good enough. Studies have found that newborn babies do better if they're held. Do you think coworkers are any worse or any different? Not that we need to coddle each other, but we miss the pat on the back or the handshake or the facial expressions and the body language that we can't get through Zoom. And that denies us a whole dimension of our relationships and with our coworkers that we're not having today. If we're forced to live in this new normal for an extended length of time, what kind of damage is this going to do to our business, to our society, and to our future? I'm going to leave you with this thought. After a campfire dies down, what's left are the burning coals, those little glowing red biscuits inside your fireplace. It's the best time to cook. It's when you should really roast your marshmallows, not over the flaming bonfire over top of it. Those embers continue to glow at night, providing warmth for everybody who's gathered around it. However, if you poke at those embers and spread them out away from one another, those embers begin to die down. They lose their glow. They lose their warmth. And in the end, their fire will go out. So my challenge to you today is, don't let this pandemic extinguish your fire. We need to keep finding ways to keep the embers together. Look for opportunities where we can get together socially at 6 foot apart. But I break the rules. I go to church and I give people hugs and I shake hands. And then I wash my hands with hand sanitizer afterwards. If we don't, then the day is going to come when the fire of our culture, of our society, is going to be extinguished. And what we have today and what we had yesterday will not be what we have tomorrow. Mr. Toastmaster.